Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by GlassesUSA.com, where you can find cute, stylish glasses at an affordable price. GlassesUSA.com offers over 8,000 different styles of in-house and name brand frames, including eyeglasses and sunglasses. All the glasses you see that I wear come from GlassesUSA.com, and I will put links down below in case you are curious. I've used the virtual mirror tool to try on glasses right at home. There's no reason to even leave. The glasses come right to my doorstep, and if I'm not happy with them, GlassesUSA.com offers a 100% money-back guarantee as long as I return them within the 14 days of receiving them. No questions asked. They have a 365-day warranty, and every frame comes with a basic prescription lens, and an entire set of glasses, including lenses, starts at $30. So GlassesUSA.com sent me some glasses that I chose, so let me know down in the comments which ones you like best. So what do you think about these? And I got these sunglasses, which are super fun, nice and big, and they change color when I go in the sun. And I got these for a little change up. And finally, some wire rim glasses. I love how easy you can change your look just by changing your frames. So if you'd like to try GlassesUSA.com for yourself, click the link down below for a special offer. Big thanks as always to Glasses USA for their continued support. Big thanks to Glasses USA for sponsoring this video and for their continued support so I can make better videos for all of you. So today I'm going to be making bagels with just 2 ingredients. It sounds bonkers, only 2 ingredients, and what those 2 ingredients are, that's what we're going to delve into, and that's what I'm going to reveal to you. Big thanks to all my lovelies who got in touch with me via social media. Bonita, I'm looking at you for getting in touch with me and bringing this recipe to my attention. I actually have heard of this recipe. I have it in one of my journals, but I forgot about it. And originally it is a Weight Watchers recipe for making homemade bagels. And the 2 magic ingredients are self-rising flour and yogurt. Specifically Greek-style non-fat yogurt. So I made a recipe very similar to this, these 2 ingredients using yogurt and self-rising flour, but I deep fried it and they were homemade donuts using 2 ingredients. I'll put a link down below in case you're curious to that one. I'm thinking this one's going to be similar in the fact that it may look a lot like a bagel, but I am imagining the texture is going to be different and the flavor, because it doesn't contain any yeast. We're going to be using baking powder that is in the self-rising flour to leaven this bread. So it's not going to have quite the same texture. It's basically like a quick bread, like a banana bread. One more thing. So another reason why I want to test out this recipe is because Blossom did this recipe. They didn't attribute Weight Watchers, of course, at all. This is a little bit of a debunking video as well, because I can spot so many irregularities. They don't tell you how much yogurt. When they take the spoon out, the spoon is clean. And when they dump the dough out, the dough has been kneaded. They don't show you that you have to actually knead it. Not in this container. It's not going to be big enough. Yeah, the finished bagel looks just like a store-bought bagel. They didn't happen to swap out a store-bought bagel, did they? At any rate, let's go ahead and make this recipe. Alrighty. So here I have an empty Faye container. It's not empty, I just scraped out the yogurt. 1 cup of yogurt. Whoa, just farted. And adding that to the container. Now, this would be much easier to do in a wide mouth bowl, but I want to debunk this video, so I'm going to be doing it as they illustrate. Plenty of room to mix. So I have 1 1/3 cups of self-rising flour. You can make this yourself. Self-rising flour is different than all-purpose flour because it has some baking powder in it to give it some rising power and some salt. So to every cup of flour, you're going to need 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. I'll put a link down below to my website, which will include a printable version of this recipe with all the conversions. So we're gonna add our flour right into there. So I'm doing an initial mix here, but I just find it so funny that in the Blossom video, they use a metal spoon like this. I should do that. And they put it in cleanly. And then after they presumably mix, they pull it out and it's clean as well. Isn't that convenient? They don't show any struggling or any mixing. of the dough. And of course, after you mix the dough, you're gonna have a dirty spoon. Add the remaining flour. It's dry and crumbly, and you really need to kind of get in there and start kneading this. But in the Blossom video, they do this. Turn it upside down, and it magically is a dough. And as you can see, it is not. We're just going to knead this for a few minutes. We're not developing too much gluten. So here's the dough. I've kneaded it for a few minutes, and it is a pretty small ball of dough. In the Blossom recipe, they show your spoon magically spinning around the dough, and it turns into a dough, and then they do this. Invert the cup, and almost the entire cup is filled with dough. Now, if we reveal this, we see that number one, it does not take the shape of the container. Theirs comes out almost like a sand castle. So this dough recipe would have to be tripled for it to fill this container. I'm going to use a metal chopstick, and they puncture the middle of the dough ball. Then they turn it and then slice it into thirds. That's going to be interesting, isn't it? So since the original recipe calls for 4, I'm going to go with 4. And then it's supposed to look like a bagel, which it doesn't. It looks more like a kayak. So here's the original hole that we made. We can turn it into a bagel though. I'm kind of just working it into a ring. I'm going to place that on a parchment lined baking pan and repeat for the others as well. I've got some seasonings to add to the bagels. You don't need to add any seasonings at all. If you want a plain bagel, you could just go ahead and pop these into a preheated 375-degree oven and bake them for about 25 minutes. But I want these to have a little bit of seasoning flavors, you know, flavors that are reminiscent of bagels. So I've got an egg white here. Now, when I made bagels from scratch before, I boiled the dough, which is traditional, and then right after you boil them for about a minute, you take them out and then you dip the wet bagels into your toppings, and that's what sticks the toppings on. Since we're not boiling, we're going to be using some egg white. Sesame seeds. Shake those on. Oh my gosh, so cute already. Now, poppy, my personal favorite. Shake that. Oh my gosh, it's already looking like a bagel already. Now we're going to do everything. Okay, can you see? Alrighty, I'm gonna pop these in the oven and bake them for 25 minutes at 375, and then we're gonna come back and see what these are like. Alright, my lovelies, see you in a little bit. Look at them! They look great! All golden, poofed up nicely. Although the holes did close up. Did you see the size of the holes? They were significant. And upon baking, the holes have closed up. See what I mean? A little bit of a hole. That one definitely closed up. Alright, my lovelies, let's finally give the bagels a taste. My kitchen smells absolutely fabulous. Love the smell of baking bread. I think I'm going to try this one. This is the everything bagel. It browned very nicely. I definitely didn't get egg wash all on the sides, but it's still browned up nicely. So that has me thinking maybe a little water would have been fine for sticking on the seeds. I also bake these in a convection oven set at 350 degrees. Whenever I use my convection setting, I turn down the oven about 25 degrees in what is listed in the recipe, because things can get over toasted, but it does do a lovely job when baking breads, doesn't it? So that's this everything. There's the sesame. The opening did close right there. Looks more like a Kaiser roll. And here is the poppy. That one's very lovely as well. Impressed by the browning of that. Let me show you what it looks like inside. Woo! That is the crumb. Oh my gosh, steaming hot. That's the interior. And let me rip it as I do in the video. Show you what it looks like. And let's taste it without cream cheese and see what it's like. Alrighty, here we go. Itadakimasu. The everything bagel seasoning really makes it feel bagelish. It's warm out of the oven and it's a baked good. So in that sense, it's absolutely delicious. It's just a bready, everything bagel flavored bread-like product. It doesn't have the chewiness, the signature chewiness of a bagel, which I totally expected because we're just using all-purpose flour here or self-rising flour. We didn't need it for a particularly long time, so none of that gluten developed. Having said that, the crumb is still nice. There is a little bit of a crust, but not that crackly signature thin crust of a boiled bagel, but something like a crust. The top tastes more like a bagel because it has the everything bagel seasoning. When you have the bottom, you get to taste the bread itself more for what it is. A little bit of tanginess, just a bit, not distracting or anything, but a little bit of tanginess in there as well. But for a baked good that came together in essentially a half an hour, not half bad. The seasoning is really what sells it for me. What really makes it seem very bagel-like. On its own, it just seems like a quick bread. Not quite like a scone, but kind of similar. I'd be really curious to see what these were like, say in a couple hours or the next day. Right now, fresh out of the oven, they're quite nice. I like the size of these. These are absolutely my size of a bagel. Okay, now let's do some with some cream cheese. Make this into a sandwich because that's usually how I have my bagels. One of my favorite combinations is cream cheese, tomato, and onion. Yum! Alrighty, here we go. Now with the inclusion of cream cheese, it definitely makes it feel like more of a bagel experience, yet the bread is still not quite right. But if you've got a craving for bagels and you happen to have some flour and some yogurt around, this would be a very quick and easy way to get to that bagel-y place. Alrighty, my lovelies, there you have it. Thanks so much for watching, and big thanks to glassesusa.com for sponsoring this video. Click the link down below for a special offer. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Check out my website. I'll include a printable version of this recipe. Like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo. Take care. Bye. Bagel burp.